So,
like when you record, I know you're gonna start recording. Are you able to? I'm assuming, like I said, the voice recording. You're gonna edit back in. Is that how you're gonna do it? You're gonna edit over like
you can
that way you
swap.
can cut out the unnecessary bits.
It's not about cut. Well, there is an element of cutting out unnecessary bits, but also like you can separate the audio from the video. So that happens post production. So
Yeah. Okay.
when
I wasn't sure how you were gonna do that if like we got off topic or something.
let's try not to get off topic, but but yeah, like there'll be a lot of videos like scene swapping, but the audio will predominantly stay the same. It'll just be me chopping out certain parts. However, but let's just talk about the actual. Let me just have a look at something here. Controls. Controls. Is there a way I can control the replay? Start recording. Shift KP6.
Shift KP6.
What's KP6?
Keypad.
Keypad.
Right, keypad.
I don't have a keypad. Damn.
We gotta work on that. Make it easier for you.
For now, just as long as I can. That's all. As long as I need play and pause, that's fine. I can then come out. I want to keep the screen as much like this as possible.
Yeah.
So,
another thing, like too, I know you were talking about like recording this and like staying on topic and stuff. Like, even if it does go a little off topic, I mean, these are like candid interviews. It could be like, I'm trying to think of how to word this. Almost like the talk show type stuff. Like we are a team, so like just putting out there how we are as individuals, not like complete assholes, essentially.
yeah.
Like straight up down to earth people, like, you know what I mean? We'll do our best to stay, like, keep it professional. Let's put it that way.
Why are these not suddenly not working? What the fuck? Why are these not? Why? Why?
You know why? You're using P. Is P the pit limiter on the keypad? Right there. Speed gear pedal display P. That's why you have it double synced.
Let's just go with.
What's something that's not being used? What about the backslash? Or like the question mark?
What was it turning into a little bit of a pain in the ass? It's not being used.
What about the one that's right next to the little brackets you used? The backslash. It's like directly next to it.
What?
Right above the enter key? I don't know if that's
Yeah,
like
that's what I
like a
just
straight
pressed.
up line.
Yeah, that's what I just pressed. That.
Fine.
Unless I do,
I mean,
unless
something
I do.
that way you got like it's all right there. You don't got to bounce around the keyboard.
What? But it's it. I don't know what it's missing now. So that's now shift that. But what's it missing?
What do you mean? Didn't it take it? What's it saying? Because they're locked.
Some controls.
Go to your drive selector, like the beginning, like the actual beginning. Like where it says drive options.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the top of there. Yeah.
That's fine. You don't have steering wheel pedals or gearbox assigned right now. I know you're watching a replay.
Oh, okay. That shouldn't really. Okay, that shouldn't be affected.
Yeah, that's not going to affect you. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah. So that's pause. Okay, so this is your hot lap, isn't it? Yeah, this is the start of your
Yeah.
hot lap. So it's already been recording anyway. I've been recording for the last few minutes. So we'll just crack on with your hot lap from your qualification lap from Road Atlanta. Road America. See, I can't even hold shift down for long. Ah, okay, that's fine. So
You
yeah,
can
this is
actually- You won't have to use that shift key how you programmed it if you back out. Because you were using the shift key to try to change things around, like the buttons, because you thought it wasn't going to take the video for your controls. Then you don't have to touch shift at all. There you go. That beginning portion, I actually could have went wider since I knew it was going to be my actual hot lap if you keep going backwards. I could have set myself up better for the entry, for the run up the hill. Right there. And
Yeah,
all
so
the curbing on the outside I could have used.
okay. In that case, we'll start it from here. So yeah. The whole point of the video today, just this is for the sort of the recording. So the whole point of the video today is to really have a look at how one of us, whoever's driving at the time, could have done better. Whether it could have been maximizing lines, maximizing apex speed, maximizing braking, maximizing exits, so forth. The whole point of this is to look into the deepest realms of our own abilities to be able to improve, not just as ourselves, but also to give you guys, the viewers potentially watching this, seeing this, sort of an indicator to how we learn. So maybe you can take something from that and grow yourself based on the techniques that we use to grow within. So let's crack on with the lap. So we'll start from just before the lap, because Andrew did mention that he feels that the optimizations here could have been achieved right early on before the lap even began. So we'll crack on. So before we do move on, Andrew, where do you think you could have gone better here at this point in time?
Probably could have went a little wider here. Could have been on the throttle a
Okay.
little sooner. Coming over the hill, set myself up to carry more speed into this next section.
Yeah. So do you think your car's in the prime position as it stands at the moment, and you've still got time to get into position?
No, I probably could have set myself up a little better.
Okay.
But coming up here.
Yeah. So if we go back to that, you see it as well, and kind of as a guideline, typically, I tend to use is the line that's going across. Sorry about that. The line that, if you should be able to see with my mouse going across here, that's kind of where you're aiming for. Is that correct? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So yeah, there's a slight miss there, which then obviously the corner ends up being out of place.
For sure. Definitely. Yeah.
So over the line we go. Can I ask, as you go over the line, how are you dealing with, at this point in time, do you know you've made a mistake, or are you not aware that you've made a mistake, and how has that affected you going into this lap now?
When it comes to like mistakes and stuff, you just kind of want to put it on your head, push forward.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because then you're just gonna dwell on it, and it's just gonna have you make more mistakes, and it's just gonna stack. So like, if you do make a mistake, understand it, and then just completely forget about it, essentially, because there's no changing it at that point.
So so then was your T1 good? Can you remember?
I believe I actually did have a decent T1 here.
Okay, let's find out. Green, green, green. So how do you think that went?
Not bad.
Yeah.
I think if I went any wider, I would have gotten off track right there.
Can you hear the sound of the engine? Did you hear that?
There's a little blip of the throttle on entry.
Yeah, on exit.
Just a little.
Right, on exit.
Yeah. Right at the beginning of the curbing.
So if I was to be a dick, which is the whole point of this process is to try and find out where we can go better, and you can only do that by being a dick to yourself. Is so for you to have to stomp on the or at least snap the throttle, or what we call feathering the throttle. If you've had to do that, that means you've done something wrong, potentially going in. So what could you have done better here?
Could have let off a little earlier or braked a little harder, probably, and then would have led to.
Okay. Do you think there was?
He didn't accelerate straight through.
Yeah, from my perspective, I'm starting to think maybe you've turned in slightly too early. So maybe yeah, just I think everything else and for the viewers watching this, if you think I'm wrong at any point, please feel free to comment and make sure to be known that you think I'm wrong, because this is the point of this discussion. So from my perspective, I think you've had to hit on the throttle just a little bit early because you've just turned in a little bit too early. So you've started turning in, I think, at this part of the curve. Maybe is that in your mind? Is that like the idea behind the decision making of this corner? Is that what you're looking for?
Usually, yeah, I'll look for that and then start to turn it. So I'm a little early.
So maybe advancing that to turning in here, the white mark.
Just a little later. Yeah, just a little later, then you can accelerate straight through.
We're talking fractions, so like this doesn't mean in any way, shape, or form. Look, your time's not bad. Like 2:03.658 is pretty good. But well, let's ask sort of questions. Is how much time do we think is being lost here because of this?
Couple hundreds.
You reckon? I don't think I'm.
I'd say, I don't know, with nitpicking, I'd say maybe a couple hundreds, maybe a tenth of a second.
Tenth, I think a tenth is realistic.
Because then you could accelerate it straight through and maintain the speed all the way down into the next corner.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and that means probably, and I think I think maybe the more curb could be taken in the middle, but I don't know. I think because you're leaning on the left-hand tires, the right-hand tires don't require as much grip, so maybe turning in
a little hesitant with this corner.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to catch the grass and have it push out or lose the car altogether.
Yeah.
You won't see people do that, though. Some people will take a little bit of go a little more towards the inside of the corner.
Copy. So that's something to think about there. Yeah, smooth. I think let's quickly have a double look over that one. I didn't hear any issues with that. Line was wide. No turning under braking, or at least under heavy braking. Good rotation of the car. Nice little bit of slip angle, as you can see. Front tires are on the edge, and the rear tires are still in the middle of the yellow and red. It's nice. That's a good corner, I think. Based on my limited knowledge, I feel like that's probably, and maybe if I'm going to nitpick even further, maybe you can go a little bit wider on exit, which could carry a little bit more speed. But like again in the comments, if you think like if you think that's is the wider line an opportunity missed, or is it not? What do you think, Andrew?
Go a little further with the video. I want to see how far the car continues to push out.
Further back or further forward?
Forward.
You're already at max.
Yeah, I'm already full throttle. I wanted to see how close I got to getting an off track here.
If you
the grass here, the off track's gonna hit.
Yeah, so if
pushed a little harder because it would have pushed the car out, and then still probably would have rotated in. Probably would have. Yeah, you probably could have definitely got a little more out of that. A
little bit less steering angle, which means a little bit more momentum. These are the kind of things we think about. We don't just say that just for the sake of being an arsehole. We think, well, actually, the reason why we could go out there is because that means less steering angle, which means more momentum, which means, and fundamentally, how many times have I mentioned to you during a race as well, like it stops TC kicking in, even on a finite amount. And the moment you have TC kick in, that's essentially you. And I'm saying this very gently here, but it's like you're touching the brakes.
Yeah. Essentially,
you're slowing yourself down. So, like, yeah.
And as Craig keeps saying about not being an asshole, this is how we approach everything with each other. We're harder on each other than anything. That's how you get better. You got to just accept that you can't come up with excuses. You just that's how you move on.
Yeah.
That's how you get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree, and that's just the reason why I've come up with this kind of idea, actually, for the viewers watching. is because this is how I talk to myself. You know, I'm an arsehole to myself fundamentally first. But so that's, yeah, small margins again. I don't see any issue with that either.
I was gonna say that's pretty good. You might have been able to go just. I might have been able to go just a little bit wider on
Yeah,
entry.
I must say I have seen the likes of like Yuri Kasdorp and Lasse. They kind of get both tires on the grey, as opposed to keeping one tire on here. Especially out at this part here, they're like completely on the grey. So
Yeah, I noticed.
I'm not too sure if an off track is out here. So something to think about for opening up the corner.
For the future. They
Yeah,
give
for the
you a
future.
few hundreds for the uphill here.
I do say
But
that whenever sorry.
again, any little bit like of gain is a gain. It doesn't matter if
So
it's 100th, if it's 1,000. A gain is a gain. It could make a difference.
a tenth a corner is realistically, or you're looking to, and this is what people have said to me in the past. A tenth a corner is ideally where you want to look to gain, because a tenth a corner around 10 tracks is a second. And if you're a second, if you're a second off the fastest guys, it means they're getting a tenth on you per corner. So if this particular action to go out wide right is worth that tenth, then we realistically should be doing it. So and I must say this, I've been watching a few people around around Road America this week, and you can kind of tell at what level they are by how far wide they go at this track. But it's like, don't get me wrong, you will get a grey area where there are a few people that are fast, that are still learning the track, that haven't taken it yet, which is kind of still an indicator of experience. But you seem to find that the real fastest guys go out the furthest, and the guys that are the lowest I ratings tend to stay in the tightest. And it's a really evident corner. So like for here, yeah, you're off beyond you're just about beyond the white line, but you can go more. So your apex speed here is 96 kilometers an hour. Do we have it? Do we have another guy in the to have a look at? Why is it blue? You're in the GT3. You're in the GT3s. Why are you blue? That's weird. Let's have a quick look at Henning Hyde. Does his lap show? I'm not going to mess with that actually. Should we have a little look at see if we can see if Henning Hyde's lap? Can we see? I'm not too sure it's going to show us.
Nah, it's not going to give us this video.
No, well, we can't do that. We can't really compare to anyone for now, but that kind of data we need to can't really do much of it as of now. Actually, I'm not too sure how we'd go about getting that data if the drivers don't come up. Maybe I need to use some of my own.
I don't know how yeah.
Any tips from the people who end up watching this on how we can go about doing that? That would be phenomenal. Thank you. So when you're coming into this corner, what are you thinking about?
It's off camber.
Okay. And what else?
In my opinion, I think this one's probably one of the most difficult corners on the track.
So what's your sort of what sort of decisions are you communicating to yourself coming up to this corner?
You really don't want to miss the braking zone. I look for the porta potty.
The porta potty. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Give or take.
Give or take, pretty close.
Yeah. And
for those on single screen, if you want to go, do you want to jump to the in-car and see if it cuts off?
What cuts off?
The porta potty right there. There you go. We just started on the brakes. There's your porta potty for anyone running single screen.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah,
But for this corner itself, already looking at it from where we're at now and me on the braking, we could have went wider.
Okay. Yeah.
A margin. It's a little, but it makes a difference.
But what else are you thinking about?
braking and then transitioning into throttle and not losing traction. Because if you lose traction out of this one, it throws this entire sector off.
What would cause you to lose traction in here?
Probably getting on the throttle a little too hard.
Okay, and also anything else?
Honestly, right now I'm drawing a blank. Not gonna lie.
Oversteering the wheel whilst the car's going light.
That's
Like so, I think the reason what makes this particular, from my perspective, this particular corner so hard is because yes, it is off camber, but it's also kind of going light as you're going around. So it's kind of asking a lot of the car. So what you want to be thinking about here in terms of braking is from my perspective, is not too heavy braking. You want to focus on more controlling the car, controlling the car through the engine, because from something that I take into consideration going around this corner is any downshifting too aggressively, which is something I reiterate to you in races all the time. Downshift, downshift, downshift at the right time. In this corner, in this particular part of the track, I find it's more of a necessity to be focused on that way of technically taking this corner. So yeah, your braking points are good, but holding the car as straight as possible under braking, downshifting, calculated downshifting, so that you're controlling the rear end of the car, because the rear end of the car is going to be your biggest battle in this corner.
Sure.
Rather than the front. So yeah, so that's kind of what that's what I think about when I'm going into this corner in particular. So making sure that feeling of maybe when you're, let's have a look at the cockpit mode. I typically so you kind of do that yourself. Is to your turning point just after you go underneath the bridge.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I think if we to nitpick, you could maybe get on the throttle a little bit earlier, therefore forcing your car to go a little bit wider, which means you just carry more speed. Yeah, because you can kind of go a little bit wider than that on exit. Again, I think that's probably the story of this particular lap is confidence. You know, pushing, knowing that you can go further wide, especially on exit, which means you can carry more speed through the apex, and being aware of your car's surroundings. So knowing where you are in the car in relation to the road, I think it seems to be maybe an ongoing trend around this particular lap.
That corner there, short shifting, gets the rotation in.
So, that to me,
you can't go much wider there.
I gonna kind of go against everything else I've just said. For me, I think that might be too wide. I feel like you're not gonna. I don't know. Actually, I feel like having the left-hand tires on the grass has cost you time there, personally.
Yeah.
But this could be a really big debating point for the video. Is do you think that more time could have been gained there, or do you think he stabilised his optimum time, or has he lost time because of that? This video was recorded a little while ago, so for him to be able to remember what movement the Delta had at this moment in time is going to be very, very hard, almost impossible. But as a term of as a particular point of conversation for the video itself and the comments below, do you think this has had much of an impact on his overall lap more than the rest of the incidents, or do you think it's sort of negligible? What do you think? But from my perspective, I think that maybe washout was, again, let me have a listen. Yeah, the short shift. I personally feel like the short shift caused that, because if you listen, as soon as you short shift, the car washes out. That almost sounds like you have to do a gentle throttle lift. Let's have a look and confirm that in a sec. Might be wrong here, but it does sound like the engine bogs down. So either you've lifted or the TC's kicked in. Yeah, you lifted. See, so it sounded like it. So that corner, I must be honest with you, is a flat out corner. So you probably, if for the viewers watching this, I'd be comfortable in saying that you've lost maybe 3 or 4 tenths there. Not just on the corner, but on the going down to the exit as well, going down to the next corner. Just because in a straight line.
I feel like 3 or 4 tenths might be a little high.
You've had to come off throttle twice.
Down to like very low 203 at the end of the lap. Then
I'm thinking here, like, so you can get I'm instantly off the top of my back thinking that you could have gone tighter to the apex, like, which is yeah. Where did it? Let's have a look at your steering there. Oh, there's your issue. Do you see it? Do you see it?
let's see.
What happened?
Already turning in?
Oh, Matteo, sorry, buddy. We're gonna have to kick you from the chat because we're recording the video for the chat. Can't have another voice in.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ciao. Oh, I'm gonna quickly move us to a private channel. Can we go to staff room, please? Board. Let's go to the boardroom. Lovely. Yeah. I don't want to be rude to him there. So that I don't know if you saw that, but in the steering,
You're gonna have to start sharing again.
if you look at the steering, now twin this with a short shift, I think that. Do you see what you did with the steering wheel?
I think I missed it.
Watch the steering wheel really carefully. The steering wheel moving from right to right. 1, 2. You see that? 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That sharp movement, I think, has just initiated a little bit too much of like oversteered heat into the tires, which in itself has kind of turned into exit washout. So that two sharp movements, it may feel like a little, not much, but with the culmination of one, and then maybe not the second one is a sharp movement, but it's kind of starting to turn in, but you've already unsettled the car slightly with the first sharp movement, and then you've short shifted quite early. I feel like there could be some better advice from my side for this as well. But what I'm familiar with this in particular is that this corner is flat out. So, for when tyres are optimum, definitely. Not on an out lap, like absolutely not on an out lap, but for sure on a hot lap flying lap where your tyres are in optimum, that'll be flat out. So if it's not flat out and you're struggling on optimum tyres, then we have a setup issue, which we can do another video about. So let's go back here. So before you come into this braking zone, let's get to the Ford marker. So what are you thinking about going into here? What's the plan?
Brake around the 2 board and stay slightly to the inside of the corner because there's a pretty solid dip on the right hand. You really can't
There.
see it from the outside of the car, but there is a pretty solid dip. If you hug the outside, that will
Yeah.
jerk the wheel and you'll lose entry speed.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. There's a little dip about here.
I think it's
And
actually right there at the crack in the road. You can kind of see it.
yeah, just right in front of the car. That having your right tire anywhere near that paint, is devastating to the car, and it'll just go completely wide. But I think you're about as honestly, I think you're about as close as you. I think that's about as close as you want to go. I don't think you really want to go any too much tighter than that, from my perspective. Maybe at the end of the corner, you could maybe turn right just a little bit to get onto that curb to maybe, but like that'll be worth like half a tenth, you know, as opposed to a tenth. Like you're maximizing the line. You're not having to steer too much. Your car's not really. Your car is. Your slip angles there. You got slip angle there. Weird. Do you see the car just suddenly move? There.
Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah. So, again,
Got on
exit.
the throttle earlier.
Yeah, exit. And actually, maybe it is that little snap into your apps. Look, now that you're slowing it down, or now that I'm slowing it down this much, you're kind of seeing that snap go from there to there. Look, you're seeing it, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's surely scrubbing the tyres? Which is costing
something.
but scrubbing the tyres is costing you speed. So maybe it is that little scrub of tyres which is, stopped you from having such a having an optimal exit. But
yeah.
Would you say that in your mind you're probably, and this could be a counter argument to what's faster, is staying tighter here does allow for you to set the next corner up?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and tight. So what I want the viewer to is to really think about here. Something that I've noticed as well was if you go into cockpit mode, you'll notice this corner for me is one of the most beautiful corners in racing. This corner is stunning, absolutely stunning, because some of it's like I almost feel like it's like gently cambered and then it turns into strong camber, and you could use that to your advantage. So right now here there's kind of gentle camber. If not, like, am I right in saying this, Andrew? But is there outside of that line, like over here, is that off cambered, and then here is kind of cambered?
Yeah, if you're on the outside there, you'll lose a lot of time.
Yes. So as a driver, and like we'll talk about the racing technique in a minute, but as it stands here for this track, if you watch carefully the way the corner goes, so and then the camber starts about here. Now,
yeah,
you can full throttle on this, and I'm actually going to look at your gearing here. I personally think that you're in too low of a gear. Personally. Because of the camber, I think this is a corner where you can actually short shift and you gain rotation, just because of the nature of the corner. Where the previous corner, keeping the high gear was better because it was just the way the nature of the corner. But in this corner, like let's see how quickly you short shift into fourth. So me personally, I would have gone to fourth now. You see the green light? I told you about the green light before.
Yeah.
So yeah, me personally would have gone to fourth a lot earlier. Yeah, it just feels quite safe, but the right line, most important. Ooh. It was pretty smooth up until
There's
that
a little
point.
lift there. The car was pushing out. Wasn't giving me the rotation I wanted. That could have been avoided on the entry. Right here. Go back. Right there. Could have went a little wider.
Again,
Took
in
a little more
relation,
inside curb. Minor things.
I'm not too sure this one's particularly minor. How much did you let off? Yeah, this isn't a minor. No, you've lost a bit of time doing that. So all of this is full throttle. Full throttle, 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 full throttle. So, considerable amount of time lost there, buddy, I must say. So again, in relation to the line, just turning in a little bit later would have saved that. Yeah, positioning of the car. There was not really much more you could do in terms of entrance. So in terms of like getting into the corner, fine, absolutely fine. But then I think I just again, like it's finite at this particular part of the track. It's finite. The mistake you made here is so small, but because it's happened in such a crucial part, it's amplified as the track has gone, as you've gone around the track even further, just because of the nature of the track. So turning in later, and going full throttle here is absolutely essential. And actually, I don't think you needed to lift off here, like this one. That last one, I don't think you needed to lift. No, I don't think you did. Like maybe a little bit more trust in the car. Like this let off was this one that happened initially. One. Then that one didn't. Yeah, okay. And yeah, again, so honestly, Apex completely missed. Like,
Yeah.
Devastatingly bad. Like it's maybe another half a car width to the right, which is that in itself has cost you at least 2 to 3 tenths.
Yeah.
I'd say devastatingly bad. Just as a level of emphasis on the corner, because it's devastatingly bad because of the setup from here, you know. So if you were to just accommodate the let off, then the next let off, and then the too narrow into the corner, which is the right line to take in race conditions. Again, maybe a little bit wider onto the left, but the apex missed. Like I'm almost using it the similar sort of principle as to T1, where you'd have essentially the red and yellow underneath the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the exit was fine. Absolutely fine. So I think from a perspective, now that we've seen the footage, we've seen that there is an underlying theme. The question is to the viewers, you can pause the video here, but what do you think Andrew's time could have been with issues rectified and running optimal? What do you think he could have achieved? So his lap was a 203.658. So pause the video and just drop in the comments what you think, because you know, 20, I think 20 mid 202s, low 202s is fast. 201
I think that the low 202s is definitely fast. I've seen some 201s.
So there we go. Yeah. So the fact that
I'd say like a 202.8. It would be my guess.
so we ultimately, based on what I've seen here, ultimately at least another 12 tenths is needed. So you realistically do need to be at your level 3.4, 3.5, 4K. I mean, yeah, O2s. I think it's realistic. So yeah, let's move on to the race. It won't be a stoppy starty in the race. We'll just skim through it, but just generally, if there's kind of like a major incident, we'll stop. But for now, most of the talking is going to be for the start of the race because it's quite important. Kind of heading towards the pits or any major overtakes, any decisions that maybe have cost you a big bit of time, and the end of the race, maybe the final lap is kind of the guideline of what I want to sort of go through. So we'll move to the race. When did you qualify here? So it was P4, wasn't it?
Honestly, it's been a
P3.
week or two, so I can't remember.
So let's go to the race. So you qualified P3, which actually, in the grand scheme of things, is a good result. So Henning Heb did a 2:03.4. So I'm well aware that Henning Heb's pretty fast. So with that being said, it may be that the conditions were not allowing a 2:02 to happen. But what I can say is that opportunities were missed to go faster than what you could have achieved. That irrelevant of conditions, but it may just be that 201s are just not on the card for these track conditions, which I can't actually see what the conditions. Well, I can. Track 30C overcast. There's a wind of 10 kilometers an hour, which could be having an effect. West, possibly. But yeah. So let's have a look from the race. He started in P3. Now, things I want you to look out for here. Let me just get us to the start. The ball stood still. Take all of this footage out. I don't have to see this. I just want us to go. So right now, as it stands, Andrew, you are in P3. You've qualified P3 with a 2:03.658. What is going through your mind right now? What kind of preparations, what kind of things are you thinking about? What kind of what sort of theories are you coming up with about the competition that's beside you, behind you, and in front of you?
Gotta just get a clean start, essentially. Don't do anything to
So what is it?
jeopardize your race right off the beginning.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So what does a clean start to you look like? Do you have confidence in everybody around you to enable that to be as a clean start?
Just coming from driving at this level for the past couple months now, you see the same names. You start to see the same names,
Perfect, yeah.
and
So,
you know who's going to make something dramatic and drastic happen at the beginning. And yes,
yeah.
they might be quicker than you in the long run, but if you know there's a quicker driver out there, just from experience and knowing them, half the time you know they'll make a mistake in the future. So
Yeah.
if you know someone's going to do something dumb, just let it
So
happen at the beginning because you have another 45 minutes to make it back.
so you looking at who you've got around you, so like looking at the actual field, before we even start moving, we've got quite a few names that I'm personally familiar with myself, but also yourself because we race at the same level. So you've got Henning Hyde in front of you, and you've got Ilya V Ratiani behind you. So out of those names, and I'm not looking to name drop anyone, but you know we're all here to learn, so other people can learn who's who as well. Are there any names in there that stand out to you as someone that you know is going to get past you, and also someone that's going to potentially cause you an incident? Would you be taking them into consideration with where you place your car on that first lap?
Looking at the names right now, like I said, because this race did happen a couple weeks ago. I honestly don't think there was anyone I was really concerned about.
Good. Okay, good. So that in turn would have a physical effect on you because you're now feeling more comfortable with the surroundings. So are you using that to go forward into sort of planning your attack going forward, or are you still potentially thinking from a defensive mindset?
Going forward from here, I'd have to see how the beginning, like how the movement for the cars around me played out. I'm
But
not gonna lie.
do you think that don't worry about this sort of race, like in these conditions when you've got no one around you that you feel is an aggressive threat, do you then change your mindset into focusing on how you could mount an attack to the guys in front, or are you still going, hey, I'm still concerned about what's behind me just because typically I race
I look forward for sure, 100%.
yeah,
If
okay,
I'm not
good.
concerned about the guy doing anything dramatic or drastic behind me, I definitely look to the cars in front of me and how I
Copy.
could improve on my start.
And what's your technique to warming up the tires? Or do you even concentrate? Do you put any sort of
With the tire
concentration into
warm
that?
up, I think it really depends on like the outside temp of the track.
Yeah, so we're at 30 degrees C here. So typically, let's just say if we're about to start a 30 degrees C race right now, so you can put yourself back into that mindset. Are you taking that into consideration as well?
A little bit. You'll see some people with the dramatic starts and stops, which I'm not gonna lie, I have done before in the past. That
Do you,
seems to help sometimes.
okay, yeah,
Um, Wiggling back and forth,
okay.
that seems to help.
Do you think it's more beneficial to do you take into consideration that these guys are also doing all of this weaving and driving, they're also killing the amount of fuel that they don't need to? So have you worked out if there's a
That does
benefit
burn
to
through fuel as well.
so,
I honestly, with the weaving and stuff, you'll see people do it and start and stomp on the gas and brake and weave around.
yeah.
By the time the second lap rolls around, I really don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah, perfect.
That's
So
an
yeah,
honest
yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
You're just
yeah. I know,
burning
no,
on
absolutely. And I actually think I agree. I tend not to do too much weaving myself, just because like the benefit of saving fuel is just way more, way better. Like you can hold off a few people at the start and still because their performance isn't that much better that they can just swim away from you. So. Like yeah, it looks great. People weaving left and right, and it's glad they can control the car. But like, necessary? Well, not so much, but yeah, I agree with you. So let's let the first lap go. Before we just kick it off, do you remember anything about this race? Do you remember how the first few corners went?
I honestly do not.
No, it's fine.
I think something happened behind me. I'm not gonna
Okay,
lie.
all
I
right.
think
Well,
I do think something happened right off the start behind me.
okay, all right. Let's go. So we'll skip through. We'll skip through this low level just before the race starts.
Little weaving, but if you hear it, like I'm not hard on the throttle. Like there's no unnecessary fuel
Yeah,
being burned.
that's it. Yeah. Again, probably even you could be even more refined with your throttle controller, just sit at like 25-30% the whole lap rather than going up and down and up and down. But then again, you're coming off the throttle, which is not using any fuel whatsoever. It's all just like just trying to find out how you do it. What's your technique, you know?
Yeah.
So as it stands, there's no signs really of anybody being a dick, is there? You're not feeling nervous around by any other? No. Good.
Nope.
That's always a good thing when you have a race that starts and you've got no one to worry about because you know they're all just gonna, maintain their gap. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. For anybody that's new watching that, like, just focus. For the people that there's so many cases of people driving into people pre-race. It's just unbelievable. Right, so I think that we're about to go green.
I think we're right now.
Stopped it perfect.
So right there on the start, I could have forced the issue against that one thing I had, but on cold tires, why jeopardize it? There you go. There's the incident I was talking about.
Okay, so this is a good talking point. Let's stop this. I said I wasn't going to stop this much, but if a good opportunity comes to talk, it's gonna happen. So, right now, plenty to talk about.
We haven't even made it to the line.
Yeah, we've not even. Yeah, well, this is inevitable, but this is why we're doing this. Is because there's plenty of opportunities to create content. So,
Yeah,
but let's have a look at this. So, as it stands, your boy got a blistering lead.
Yeah, he got a really, really good start. And I got a minor run on the car to the left. right here, I'm thinking, do I want to force it and risk contact on before we even make it to the beginning of the race, or just back out and no, there's the potential to improve in the future.
Yeah, so let's look ahead from this particular moment here. What options do you have? What options can you see?
I could let off a little and tucked in behind the Mustang, and the only reason I didn't was because, as you see later in the corner, the car behind gets on me because he's right on my bumper.
You're closer to the car in front than the car is behind. That's for sure. At this moment in time, yeah. So
I just held my line, defended the inside line, and then carried on.
Yeah. So that's one option. Oh, that's two options. Sorry. So stick your line or tuck in.
Or send it.
Yeah.
Hang out.
Yeah. So, do you know? Yeah. Well, it's a legit opportunity. It literally is a legit move right now, because like I get the position you're in, but like, first of all, it's gonna sound like a dick when I say this, but you've got to sort your reactions out. But your reaction's terrible. But everybody behind's reaction, the guy's done an absolutely amazing job. Sticking a little bit closer to him if you can. And so he starts going there. So we'll say there. Okay, so let's count in seconds. 1, 2. It took you just over 2 seconds to react. So if you can refine that makes this move, which I would have made personally for me, because you're now alongside. So getting ahead, but again, options. What would that option have done? What would you have achieved by making that decision? So now there's a car close behind you.
That would be one thing, and then would I have been able to get by before the next corner on cold tires?
So your options are constantly changing. So the way I see this right now, and again, with hindsight, and everybody's able to make good decisions with hindsight, that's how things work. But right now, you are axle to axle, just about, maybe axle to bumper. But how does he get that far ahead of you when you've got the inside line? So maybe a racing tactic in here would be to come off the brakes, roll off the brakes a little bit, feel the control of the car, and stick him to the outside, because remember, the next 3 corners are all right-handers. So the actual favor is in right now, as things stand right now, the second place is favoring you.
Right.
But if you be too tentative and too cautious and too nice, you will end up losing that favor, which did.
Yeah.
You lost that favor. However, in this case, it's worked out quite nicely, because the car ahead of him span, therefore the guy ahead of you now doesn't have tow. But if that hadn't have happened, which we have to think of what's going to happen typically, he would still have tow, and now you're under attack. So you've put yourself under 5 corners before T1. You've now put yourself under attack. But without going back and reviewing this footage this early on, you would have never have known. And I haven't got to T1 yet, but I would assume there was some level of attack that's going to happen on you.
Yeah, definitely.
So carrying more speed through here, allowing the cars to go too wide, racing through here, it's not a bad thing. It's just a little bit bullyish, but that's what we're here to do. Is we're here to drive as fast as we can, and that's the fastest way. So, look how much pace you lost because of it. So
Now here I went wide because I thought that guy was going to get inside.
Yeah,
I thought he was going to send it. That was
I just all I'm hearing right now is
I should have just closed the door.
Yeah.
I should have just not even given the option.
Yeah. All I'm seeing here right now is hello, Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean that's definitely not a negative. But in this case, it's harmed you because it's like just too nice, and people have gone, well, okay, I'll have that then. You know, if someone drops someone drops a £50 note on the floor, and the nice guy thinks, oh, I'm not going to grab it yet because I don't think I should grab it, and then a homeless man sweeps past and has it, you've lost out. You know, it's a shit example, but fundamentally is sometimes being Mr. Nice Guy doesn't pay you dividends. In this case, it's kind of shown that, but all set up from the beginning. So
You'll see the car behind goes around. I don't know if there was contact here or not. Right there. And then the car head went around.
no,
two cars spinning at the same
there
time.
was no contact. He just you see him snap, and then he lost the car. Yeah.
Head.
Driver skill, driver error, but it's little moments like this. Like I get we all want to go fast, but like it's that whole balance, right? So right now you've defended, and I see the guys over at Fusion Racing do this as well, is they defend absolutely everything because they feel they must. But right now, based on how far the car is behind, you have absolutely no need to defend right now if you maximize all of your braking points and all of your apexes. So I feel like kind of now you're a little bit flustered. Like you've dabbed the brake a couple of times, come off the brake a couple of times, and it just feels like to me that with everything that's going on, you're a little bit flustered. You're just trying to let everything settle. But in that case, it's kind of causing you to make moves that's now in this case just welcoming you to become a defender. So sticking it here and going too tight when this car really behind it, and you have to kind of accept this. If he's going to make a move from a position where it's really good, like it takes a lot of skill, and he makes the move, then you as any person should just go, yeah, do you know what? I've left a door open for you that's really hard to walk through, but you've walked through it. Fair play to you.
Another concern of mine, though, is the car that's off track ahead.
Yeah, I get that.
I wasn't sure if he was going to come back across the track.
Yeah.
Another concern. So why go wide if you don't know if he's going to bounce back out in front of you? It was both, but that was more of what I was thinking along the lines, was him coming back in front of me.
I'm sure
I was defending a little bit, but there was that concern that was in my head.
I'm sure that this guy down on the left also had similar concerns, but he stuck it out to the left as much as possible. This is confidence, like knowing what's going to happen, and I get it, I really do. But I beg to differ that I think more your concern was defending rather than the BMW, just based on where you put your car, because the car behind also showed the same body language. So it's good defending. Like last lap of the race, this has kept him behind. But first lap of the race, it's lost you a toe, and now it's going to leave you under attack. So I would say maybe go more to the left. You don't have to go right out towards the grass, but just a little bit further to the left. You know, a bit more awareness to know where you can put the car. But yeah, it's easy with hindsight. Really easy with hindsight, and those moments are so subjective. But
and again, that's why we do that.
Yeah. But then again, it looks like the Honda is fast enough in a straight line. So you're in P2. Good job. So are you at this moment in time? Are you concerned about the guy behind, considering how close he just got to you?
With how close he got there, I am a little bit concerned that he might try to send it already on cold tires, which is kind of concerning.
After I said Henning Hybe is a really fast driver, he spins out. So I can see now that you're maintaining a level of pace to the leader. So are you starting to think now, how can I get past him? Or what is your thought process behind this moment?
Yeah.
Where you are?
I was thinking, well, how can I get around him?
Yeah.
First, I have to catch him, and then how can I get around him?
Yeah. I think that's the wise thing to do. Why? But obviously, you think it's a wise thing to do. You've done the same thing. So why did you do that? What was the reasoning behind you letting him through
I still
there?
didn't have confidence in my tires after
Okay.
coming through the gate. That's how he got the run on me.
Yeah.
With the setup I was running, I didn't have confidence in the warmth of the tires yet. He got the run. And clearly, as you've seen earlier in the video, he was outbraking me because he had way more confidence in his setup and the tires.
Copy.
So why fight it and cost us both time when you'll save a little, he'll get by, and then you could just let him tow you.
So to the viewers watching, another good reason to do is to let someone through in moments like that is because what he's now going to start doing, he's going to start attacking the car in front, and the likeliness, if they start fighting properly, of death increases as more time goes by. So there can be a benefit to letting cars that are slightly faster through so they can attack the guy in front to open up a door of opportunity for yourself.
And you'll see it time and time again, the more you race. You'll try to have people try to send it on you every corner. In reality, you're just costing each other more time and bringing the cars behind closer and closer. So why battle consistently when you could pull from the cars behind, give each other space, and then start to fight it out?
It becomes that becomes a two-way battle, really, because the same argument could be had is why are you slowing me down knowing that I'm faster, as opposed to why are you not letting me past. Like we could work, or we could work. Yeah. So that's for me to be. It's a level of intelligence happening between the two cars in front. He has let him through. They did a little bit of fighting, but that Porsche is just too fast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it can be a finite argument really to be had with this, because it's like you are faster in a tow, but you're not faster without the tow. So when does that argument? So who yields? You know,
right?
Who's meant to yield? Yeah. Sometimes if someone's being so persistent, just let it happen. Forget the place. Like, if they're being that aggressive, you can almost guarantee that their heart rate is extremely high. And the chances of them making a mistake in times where their heart rate's high is a lot higher than when you, with a nice calm heart rate, knowing the fact that you're confident that you'll get to the end of the race with your current time, as opposed to him who is... And something to think about is he right now shredding his tyres going this fast? Which is a way you comfort yourself. Like, you're going through a race...
That we've all found with this new tire model actually does happen.
It does, yeah. So
you
like,
destroy the tires with this new tire model.
Absolutely, and that's confidence, knowing the fact that, okay, he's got away by 4 seconds, but now he's going to start hemorrhaging 7/10 a lap just because his tyres are shitty, you know. And I've managed to keep my tyres, and now I'm able to go maybe 1/10 faster than him a lap. It's or whatever, or 8/10 faster, a second faster than him a lap, you know.
Something that and Craig found out last week, was it, at Daytona?
Mm-hmm.
Our last stint, we went an hour and a half on one set of tires.
It pays huge dividends to know, have belief in yourself, to know that you can maintain tyre usage that can benefit you against drivers that drive with their ego. Guys that, I get it, everybody wants to be number one, but nobody's number one until they cross the line. So you have to take that into consideration. Once you cross the line, whoever crosses the line first is number one. Whether you were number one for the whole race and I beat you on tyres on the last lap, it's these things that need to be taken into consideration. So instead of getting flustered in this moment, oh my God, he's pulling away from me. Well, why is he pulling away from me? Am I maximising my own speed? Yes. Well, then he must be overdoing his tyres. And if he doesn't, I've learned. If he does, then we move on, you know?
There's that old time adage, in order to win, you have to finish. You got to
Yeah.
make it to the end in order to win. So it's constantly going through your head during the race. You have to finish, and you got to finish your best. Like, that's the logic.
And you're maintaining decent. The guy's kind of pulling away a little bit ahead, but there's a nice little train of cars. Fair enough. Philip Caneo. Interesting. So, I'm just going to quickly do something actually for that. I don't want that car. So yeah, everything's kind of settled down now. The race is in a rhythm. You've kind of got a tiny little bit of respite before the GTPs and LMP2s come through. What are you thinking? How are you feeling?
Break from the cars behind. Try to get time on the cars behind me before the GTPs catch up. Because the guy in front of me has decent pace, and
Yeah.
I'm gaining on him in tow, but in the slower sections of the track, up until now, he was kind of keeping a pretty constant distance.
So what is your when the GTPs arrive? What's the kind of best way of stopping a GTP or a faster car getting past in weird positions?
Almost like you're defending the line from a GT3. Just don't give them space.
Sure, and there's a for me
There's a fine line, though. There's definitely a fine line for it.
There's an efficient way of doing
for
this.
them doing, my thought process when it comes to GTPs is plan for something dumb to happen.
Sure.
I'm not gonna lie, that's usually my thought process.
Sure.
Either that, or if they got the run on you, fuel save. Let them make the dive, fuel save into the corner, and you both don't lose as much time than trying to fight it out.
Sure. Let me just give an example as we go back through the race. So coming through this corner here, let's just say, for instance, right now a GTP's up your inside,
Yeah.
or say half a second back. So
Yeah.
and to make the
half a second back, I would probably just hold my line.
No, let me.
If he was closer, we will see this later in the video because I did lose positions because of it.
No,
but if I didn't, the race would be over.
So that's not quite entirely what I was referring to, but so as it stands right now, you've got a GTP, hypothetically speaking, a GTP that's half a second behind that, you know, when you go to hit this apex is also going to hit your apex at the same time. So what I'm trying to paint a picture is that two cars, prototype and GT3, are going to hit this apex at the same time. So as it stands right now, if a GTP was to meet you at the apex at the same time, or maybe just slightly before you, would he be more open and sort of attracted to the idea of diving in between you two right now, as it stands right now with the cars the distance they are? Would that be more appealing to them to stick into between two of them, as opposed to you being within half a car length behind the Mustang? This is the point of the picture I'm trying to paint right now, is that
the GTP seems,
so for me, the biggest way of defending against the GTP is being as close to the car as you can in front, because the more gap there is in the car in front, the more opportunity that gives them to think that they can dive on you. So if you're right up this guy's bumper and the GTP is half a second behind you and is likely to meet you at the apex, and you're right up this car's bumper, he will not dive. Where if you're a car by yourself with no car in front, he will not. He will die, or the chances of him diving are increased. That's kind of another game that you can maintain throughout the race to enable you to stop being dived upon by faster cars, is by sticking closer. And if you're in a train of three, that guy, the hypercar behind, can absolutely kiss his ass goodbye to a good lap.
For sure. 100%.
But that's a game that's like putting a pawn forward 2 places on a chessboard to know that the bishop is going to take it. It's kind of putting your pieces in place as the game goes on. So kind of relating that to chess, really, you're putting your pawn in place right now, and he's either got the choice, well, do I take it with my bishop, knowing that that pawn is protected by the queen, or do I avoid it and keep the bishop, but then also he keeps his pawn? And it's kind of the same mentality for this. Do you put your car in that position knowing full well he's going to take it, or do you put your car in another position knowing full well he won't?
Yeah.
You know? So again, that's food for thought. So from my perspective, I get the feeling maybe you're just comfortable here this far back. Is that, or is that not accurate? Are you pushing right now and struggling to keep up with him?
No, I was comfortable sitting right where I was at.
So if the fact that you are comfortable, this far away from a car, I would have a look at maybe bringing that down and try and get comfortable a little bit closer, especially around tracks like this where there's like Spa, where there's Eau Rouge and Radeon, where you can just get dived upon on the inside. Again, almost impossible in a train of 2 or train of 3 that are really close together. And by that, I mean 0.2, 0.3 back.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Get closer. So generally speaking, you're hitting all the apexes, you're doing everything you needed to. You're essentially following the guy ahead, doing pretty much what he's doing, which is ideal. How's the train looking behind you? It's still quite significant. So yeah, you're comfortably in the top 3. See, let's look at that. Did you see that? Can you see what I can see?
How far off the Porsches?
Yes, sir.
He's way off. Yeah.
There you go. That's what I remember seeing is that's the optimal line. See, look how tight you are compared.
Yeah.
It's like the Porsche went the widest, and then the Mustang went slightly tighter, and then you just went slightly tighter again. But what did the car behind do? So you were there. Let's have a little look. And then slightly tighter again.
He's tighter than me.
It's like everybody. Look at it. You can almost see it. Like it's like a little, almost like a plane, like a group of planes in the sky that are driving, that are like flying in formation. You're like driving in formation. Brilliant. How is there a button for changing? Oh. Is there a button for changing cars? There is, isn't it? Without me having to skip through it.
There is. I mean, you might have to program it. That would be the only thing you'd have to program it to jump back and forth.
You can. That was insane. So. V puts you forward. What puts you back?
Try B?
Yeah,
B
I
or
tried that.
C?
No, C's camera.
What's F?
Pressing loads of buttons right now. But yeah, let's yeah, that's fine. It's all right. Could probably do with buying a little button box, to be fair.
At this point, we're just kind of maintaining the distance on the Mustang behind.
Yeah, this is the middle part of the track. We've kind of the strategy part of the track now, the race. I don't know if you're noticing it, but is it... I feel like your car is moving a lot mid-corner. If you just watch it carefully, I feel like there's so much movement happening.
That's something that I notice in race.
Yeah, I don't think you do. Like, I'm probably... if I was to go back and look at mine like this in this much detail, I'd probably find that mine's moving too. But I'm just not sure that's optimum. Is that was that full throttle?
Yeah.
No.
No,
Was
a
it?
little
No, it
lift.
wasn't. Don't follow his line ahead. That was an off track. 100,000,000% was an off track. So what gear are you in here? Just before this. 3. Let's have a look and see if there's any other Hondas. You're the only Honda. Oh, wait, Mario Draper. Let's have a look at what you do this in. No, that's a McLaren. What? I thought that was a Honda for a second. How embarrassing. Are you the only Honda in here?
Honestly, can't remember. I might be. That's the story of our life.
Wow. Yeah, I think you are the only Honda in here. So then I can't compare it. I'm almost certain it's 4th. You just need to short shift for 4th. You know as well as I do, short shifting in this car sometimes is quite beneficial.
Yeah, definitely. Here come the prototypes.
Let's keep an eye on them from distant point of view to watch them come through. Oh! Talking point. What happened? Oh, okay. He just got a little bit close to the edge. So for the majority of this track's pretty friendly to the GT3s from the hypercars, I feel personally.
There's
I don't
plenty
feel
of
like
passing for 'em.
yeah. It's just so much straight track for them to just sail past, but like an off track. Yeah.
That was an off track. Yeah.
So this looks like it was an exciting race. Like there's like something to think about in front and something to think about behind, but just not to the point where you're kind of having to overthink it too much.
No, this race definitely was one of the smoother ones.
But this is where, so you're in prime position really to sort of monetize on any.
Right there, look at that. Back
Yeah,
up.
let's have a look at let's have a little look at that. It's not us, but we'll have a little look at it. So
There was
who
no reason I
oh,
my car.
we'll have a little look at Jack win. So this is Jack. So let's look at Jack. Give you a bit of free guidance, Jack. So Jack is under a lot of pressure. So let's have a little look at what Jack could have done. Did he lose a spot
I
because of
think
it?
if he did what he wanted, he would have got taken out. But if you back up even further, go back to my car, you'll see the prototypes get a run on me. So here comes this guy. This guy goes inside the Ferrari. He got a bad shot through the kink. Jack gets around him.
Yeah.
But then I knew the prototypes were coming. So here comes the GTP with the black. I went towards the inside just that little bit to keep him from sending it.
Yeah.
Because you know
So
he wanted to send it. Right there.
no,
Not way outside.
not too sure he did. I'm not. It doesn't look to me like he was going to send it, but I might be wrong. But from the Mustang's point of view, for anybody that does go around to watching this, Jack himself lost time. This is a little bit like a checkmate situation from my perspective. So typically, letting off like this would have opened up the Ferrari to dive on the inside, but it's like having a rook that's blocking off the path. You've got it, like, because the GTPs are coming up the inside, the Ferrari behind literally cannot make the move. It's checkmate, or essentially, like, it's not checkmate, but it's checkmate for that particular experience. So Jack could easily do away with letting off here, allowing the GTP to go through. The Ferrari wouldn't have been able to turn quick enough, and he would have kept the spot and then also hit the apex. All good with hindsight. Very easy to say with hindsight, but here, like right now, like if we go back and listen to his engine, he doesn't let off at all. So from my side, what makes a driver better in moments like this is more anticipation. The more arrogance you have, the more time you will lose. And I'd be very careful what I say that, because we like Jack. In the moment, when it comes to moments like this, could he have saved more time? Could he? Well, there is evidence that he turned away from the corner. So even if that was the right line to take, he still made a mistake whilst doing it. He turned in and then had to turn out and then turn back again, which actually caused him to lose a lot of momentum, where essentially a let off here, yeah, allows for you to brake a little bit earlier and a little bit lighter, and it allows for the GTP to brake a little bit heavier and a little bit later, which is the perfect situation for you to be in. That's the perfect situation. You brake lighter, not losing any time, because you don't lose time fuel saving, barely any time at all, especially if you know how to brake lighter and brake and let off earlier. So you don't really lose any time. You still hit the apex, but the GTP is being forced to brake harder, which is not optimum for that car. And he's also having to release off the brake a lot quicker to get the car turned in. And he's having to do that a lot later. So you're making him do all the hard work, and yourself is not doing any hard work right now, because of Jack's decision to go into the corner as if he was normally racing. He's now made life hard for himself, because he's allowed for the GTP to dive in at a moment where he would likely hit the apex at the same time, where letting off would have allowed the GTP to hit the apex first, and then he's had to steer out, and then he's cost himself momentum, which then he's made his life hard for himself and almost brought himself under attack. Do you see the logic behind the way I think there? Yeah,
Definitely.
And if you get around to watching this, Jack, hopefully you'll agree. Maybe not, I don't know. But so, well, he's now directly under attack, but forced to give the position up. So yeah, I think from your side, good race management, like really good racecraft. You managed everything well, as well as you could do, really. There was never going to be any problem from that one, I'm sure. Yeah, he was never going to cause a problem. Neither was the guy behind. But we'll never know. Lost through a little bit of time there, but you had no choice. And yet through onto the apex before you, so it's fine. Yeah, so subjectively speaking, you're now not losing on. You're still not losing on the guy ahead.
Right.
And that's the goal. You know, everything you've done. So, question. You're now getting close to him on quite a few occasions, especially on sort of corner exit and so forth. Are you considering now thinking about making a move, or are you thinking maybe I could do with pushing you away from the guys behind?
He's had pace on me, and I keep gaining him on the straight. So unless I get a little closer, my thought as of right now would be to catch him and push him down the straights.
Okay.
It would give us time on the cars behind, and at the same time, I could feel him out to see how much he's going to attempt to defend.
Nice. Yeah, so he...
On the other hand, right here, different
makes a
talking
mistake.
point.
Again, no, this is exactly the point I'm talking about. What I would literally...
I'm trying to remember right now if I go for the move or if I start to push him. Because I did get such a good run. That makes a difference too. You don't want to cost yourself time.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, you got a run, a really good run because of his mistake. So this goes back to the previous example with Jack. All he has to do is let off, and that GTB goes through.
And he wouldn't have lost time.
And he wouldn't have lost any time, and you wouldn't have been able to mount an attack, which I think is now coming.
Yeah.
So this is key to for me, the key between driver intelligence. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you'll let off and there'll be someone who's super ego driven, super aggressive, and they will take an opportunity from that. But we're trying to work on the law of averages here. More times often than not, you're going to lose out by not letting off. Sometimes you won't, but we're looking for the average of numbers here to try and look at some form of refinement. And right now, his decision to not let off and show any form of anticipation has cost him big time. Not only on the car behind, but also any chance of catching the car ahead, which is applying more pressure to himself in his mind. So let's see what you do. We could pause. We could pause the video right here and ask the viewers to predict what's going to happen right now. What's going to happen next?
Went for it.
Interesting. Ah. You didn't go for it. And now you're having to defend. Mate.
An example of what not to do.
Yeah. Don't push Don't make the guy you're about to make an overtake any faster. You're making your life hard for yourself. Like, if you know you're gonna overtake, don't push, because you're just giving him more speed. Like, there is a potential way that you could push him past his braking point because he's going too fast to make a mistake. Absolutely. But twin that with a lack of commitment to the actual move, and you almost cost yourself another spot. So you need heavier on the brakes. You can't. Do you know what a block pass is? Have you ever heard of the term of block pass?
No.
Okay, so a block pass is essentially what you're doing right now. You go beyond your braking point to the point where you miss your apex, but you come back round in front of the car. So when he gets on the accelerator, he goes into your rear. That's a block pass. Yeah. That's fully legal. So what you do is kind of braking and hoping. There's an element of I'm out of control, but you have to use that to your advantage. So you're going heavy on the brake, straight line only, so he can't turn. He's forced out as wide as possible, and then you go just off the apex, but to the point where he can't go on the throttle, and he goes into the rear of you, which then forces him to. Any normal driver will lift off the throttle because they won't want the damage. Yeah. Most drivers will lift off. So block pass was very much on here, but yeah.
Now here I'm defending against Jack.
Oh! This is chaos. Everybody's panicking. You're the only one keeping calm.
Right there. That would have been the end of my race. If I turned in. That guy, if you watch from his in-car, he was not letting off. He would have went right through the back of my car. That's the GTP logic that you'll get sometimes where they think they own the track. Because our turning point's right there as a GT3. You hug that curb, you turn in. If I was turning in, he would have went right through the side of me.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah.
And then that would have been the end of it. So, food for thought sometimes. You have to put into perspective.
What do you think,
And this
viewers?
does, I think this cost me 3 spots. It
What
cost
is
me
the,
3 spots. What's that?
What is the viewer? What are the viewer? I'm not gonna say anything on this matter. I'm gonna let the viewers completely engage on this one. If you haven't engaged on the previous 2 opportunities to give your thoughts, this is the one I'm gonna keep my mouth silent on. Just purely for the content, because I have an opinion, and I'm sure many others will have an opinion about this, because this is quite common. You know, this is quite common in racing for this kind of experience to happen. So how do you deal with it as a viewer? Like if you're watching this in our 6K, how would you deal with this as the lead GT3 car? Or let's put perspective on who, if you're the second car, Jack in the first Mustang. What would you do in his position? Did everybody do everything right? Was
step on you, Craig. If you go back to not like physically back, if you pull up the screen, this is a back marker GTP.
Yeah.
I think he's P8 is what it just showed.
Okay.
So here he is. We got a train of cars,
and
he's just thinking, I have to get by everybody.
Which he has the right to, even though he is a back marker.
Right.
He does have the right to.
Right.
Yeah.
He is a back marker. He wants to get by everybody. And my thought process is, how am I going to keep these 3 cars behind me? And if you keep going, I see him coming, and I'm like, either my race is going to be ended because he's going to go through me,
Yeah,
or I'm going to give up these positions and try to have to fight them back. So it's you want to make it to the end of the race. So
you do, yeah. Well, this is a really
sometimes you
tough
don't know
one
what to
because
expect out of people, but in my common most like recent experiences is, if you try to do this in this position on this track, your race is going to be over.
yeah. So it's more of a danger for him to pull out of this one. I think. I honestly looking. No, I'm not going to say anything, but it's very common. It's very common. This kind of antics, and I'm interested to know the people that view this. Like, who did anybody do anything wrong, and was everybody acting accordingly, predictable? If you're a GTP driver watching this, would you have done anything differently? As a GT3 driver, what could we have done differently? These are really important parts that I sort of want this video to sit on here, because this feels to me probably like one of the biggest talking points of the race so far, just because of this, because it cost Andrew so much time. And did it need to cost Andrew that much time? Like, so we'll leave it at that. We'll move on. But you're right, it's shitty. Bloody annoying. Anyway, why am I still watching this guy? So let's go back here. Nice save though. So it's not all doom and gloom. You lost some positions. It happens. It's not all doom and gloom. You've still got the opportunity to get the undercut in the pit. You've still got quite a considerable amount, and you're still alive. You've got quite a few laps. So that same mentality that you've got right now, you could have taken into previous to before the incident happened. So you could have maybe let off, forcing Jackson to... I've said my piece. I'm really not trying to lead too many people on that because I really want people to talk about that point. If I put my opinion in, it just... So no matter what, it's pretty clear here that even if there is a massive swap about of cars and suddenly that lead car drops to the back, they're going to be in contention at the end of the race because nobody can pull away from each other. So it's all okay letting everything swap about throughout the mid-race. You're in no danger of being left behind, sat in as the fourth car, as long as you continue to do everything right, you know. And you may even lose a position again here. Yeah, you will. But that's not a problem. It becomes a problem when you start falling quite far back and really start dropping loads of places. But
the reason I didn't really fight that is if you go to the beginning, I went to defend, and the guy still tried to force his nose in.
Yeah, he tried to wobble you. Yeah,
went
I
off
saw
track.
that. Yeah. He tried to wobble you. Yeah. That's listen.
Technique. It is a technique.
Yeah, you should be doing that to other people. Like, he's forced you to submit. Like, that's what a bully does. A bully forces you to submit, and he's forced you to submit. You've taken the knee. That's it. Move on. Like, let's hope he fucks somebody else's race up, or messes somebody else's race up. But for now, you fight. It is what it is.
And who now we got a 5-way battle going.
And we know Benedictus Sinkevicius. He's pretty decent. We already know. You're around some pretty decent drivers. Moritz Koenig, another very good driver.
Exactly.
Very aggressive.
And like, if any of these guys are watching, like, it's nothing against you guys. It's racing's racing. It's gonna happen. We're all gonna be aggressive with each other, and we're gonna see each other consistently.
How can we as drivers play their own game without dying? That's it. So right now, like, you're fourth car, about to become fifth car, but it's not a problem. And don't be afraid if you're 1, 2, 3K in a situation like this. Don't be afraid to say to yourself, it's not a problem. Like, it's not. It's really not. Like, you now know that this Mercedes is willing to potentially try and spin someone to get past them. What are the chances of that Merc doing that to someone ahead and taking all 4 of them out? All 3 of them out? It's quite high. So play that game. You know, that's not a bad mindset to be in. Just make sure, whilst you're thinking that, you're always hitting your apexes and exits. Yeah, so a slight reality check now. It was probably a wise thing that they did get past, because tension was probably building because they thought they were faster than you. So with the fact that they're now pulling away, it's probably been, with a little bit of hindsight, not a bad thing that they've got past you, because at some point someone would have just gone, fuck this, and just rear-ended you.
Yeah. And as you can see, they're going at it ahead.
Inevitable.
Yeah, of course, it's racing. It's going to happen.
Yeah, and you also know from previous experience, like Moritz. I could tell you now, Moritz is an aggressive driver. He purposely spins people. Not like purposely intent wrecks, but purposely he puts his nose in places that spins people out, just as generally aggressive behaviour. That's fine. That's the way some people drive, but it's a consideration to take whenever going into a race with Moritz. And there's a few others around that, as time goes by, we'll mention them. I'm not afraid to name drop. It's the whole goal here is to get better. So if that means sometimes that he is better than us as a driver, and that aggressive way of driving is better, then maybe we need to step up, be more aggressive. How can you defend against someone that's aggressive? You know, these types of questions asking ourselves. And you always know a not a very nice driver when they make a mistake and then they don't apologise. So what lap are we on?
11. 11 if I think, yeah, I think there was almost 30 in this race.
Should we skip forward a little bit just until the next moment?
Yeah. No harm in fast forwarding a little bit till something important happened.
I can always.
So right now we're just maintaining.
Together. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was well managed. Yeah.
I expected him to get the move done sooner. He was ahead of me going into the corner.
Now that I look, now that I do look at this, you really should be hitting the apex when he's already ahead of you going into the braking zone. But you went wide at the apex here is like, that to me is arrogant. It's cost you the toe because of it. Like right now, what you've now lost out on the opportunities, you've lost on toe, and you've also lost on fuel. Where typically letting off just even 25 meters earlier would allow for him to come in front of you, and then you hit the apex and you lose less time.
That's what I was playing around him doing to begin with.
Yeah, that's what you should have done, in my opinion. Racecraft management, that is. Racecraft. So, like, he's already here. He's already ahead of you.
Watch my inputs. Watch my inputs. That's what I was talking about. I think I did let off to let him by. He just
No, you didn't
brake properly.
No, you didn't. Straight from brake to throttle. Straight from brake. There's no anticipation there whatsoever. You're giving yourself no time to react. So, yeah, like there, I typically would let off a little bit earlier so then I could duck in because that toe's gone. You may now potentially get the toe back, but it's all potentially well in hindsight. But if listen, I see it this way: is if he'd have got past you here. You'd have let off, let him tuck back in front of him. He would have got a better exit. You would have lost the toe, but then he would have been able to apply more pressure to the cars ahead going around the right-hander, bringing that toe back.
Yeah.
Yeah. When now you've lost the toe, and now he can't apply pressure going around the right-hander, so he has to sit behind them. Now he loses time. You've lost the toe, and the guys ahead have lost no time whatsoever. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you get the toe back? No. That's been, I think. So you pit. Why did you decide to pit now? Let's have a look at that. Why? What made
LMP2s?
The LMP2s were coming by, were they?
Yeah, that was I think P2 of the LMP2s that went by me earlier.
Okay.
And so did the Mustang ahead. He had the same thought process I did.
Yeah. So that's good.
There goes another one right there.
Would you have done that if nobody else had pitted?
Yeah, that was my plan all along.
Okay.
After the week of racing, that was my plan. That's my normal pit time.
So fine margins. I mean, I think we all look out for here is if nobody pits now, then you don't pit. If one person pits, then you pit, because when you come out, if you've lost all of the toes, everybody else is now getting toe, and they're now gaining on you.
Am I in right now?
Huh?
If you go back to the corner entry, I want to see if we actually did gain time or any positions. So right here, what position am I in? 6?
Yeah. I don't actually know. 4. Oh wait, no, wait. Yeah, it's a 6. You are in 6, yes.
Okay, so right now we're in P6.
You're in P6, yeah. But right now it's not really. You can't do that comparison because unless you come out with a guy ahead's toe, you're not going to lose as much. So that's why it's important to dip in when there's a car dipping in front of you. It's like, would you if you were to race Monza, would you dip into the pits early to give up that much tow when a tow is worth like 8/10 of a lap, 7/10 of a lap? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to pit early to avoid the P2s to save time, and it's a legit strat. But it's in the moment, if nobody else pits, everybody else has got a tow, bar this guy behind, which may chances are he'll get a tow because you've pitted quite early. He's now got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 laps to get the tow. But you're going to be 5, 6, 7 laps without a tow. That's going to cost you huge. But we'll see. I don't think you're in the tow anyway, and I can't bring up the black box.
You probably fast forward through this part. Not gonna see much.
You did take tyres. So he's still in his tow, banging.
And I think the Ferrari behind me actually either pitted with us or pitted the lap before. I think I can actually hear his car.
Let's skip through this a little bit more. So you must be about maybe 25 minutes left of the race?
Yeah, if I had to guess, probably right around that. And as you can see, we're back in Jack's tow. I think Jack was leading the train when we went to the pits.
Yeah, wise choice from him. Again, a different... Oh, wow. Wow, yeah. So, because you two pitted at the beginning, they both realised they needed to pit as well. So, it can have that effect, and that's the beauty of the racing, really. It's all in the moment. You just need to make the right decision in the right moment, you know? And it seems like you made the right decision in that moment. But it's just for others that...
Go back.
What the... So,
Oh.
but I'm not going to, before you say anything there, it's the reason, again, that's what I wanted to say was for anybody that's viewing to see what other solutions there are, other outcomes that can potentially happen, we can discuss them based on one outcome that we see here. So if we potentially look at other outcomes, you guys know how to act, or at least get some information on understanding how to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Etiquette. You know, there's etiquette within a track. And how to operate within that level of etiquette amongst other people who know what etiquette is.
In this moment, from my sight line, that GTP I saw getting a run, and I knew he was going to end up meeting Jack near the apex. The one that's further ahead. 2, 3 cars ahead. Keep going. Oh, not this one.
No, I just want to see what this...
Way up there.
So, yeah, that's... Nothing. Yeah, we've got. It's all right. Well, I'll go back again.
No, the one that's off track, right there. That one. Now back up. I honestly think he should have got around Jack sooner. But from where I was sitting, I thought it was like the angle I had was closer. I thought he was going to go off, and he ended up going off.
And it's Gaspar. Oh! Oh my goodness, look how close he was to you, to hitting you.
That's what I mean.
Oh, did you not take any damage from that?
I got a 4x from that.
Yeah. So, listen, the guy just doesn't know how to drive this car at the moment. He's struggling with the car, so that's nothing on him. And by this point, he's a passenger. So everything that happens after this, he held his brakes. Like, look at him.
No, I'm not saying he didn't hold his brakes.
And there is
me. He probably could have started rolling right there, but instead,
you're meant to come to a dead stop. That's kind of the way. Really, you can't negate him for like being negative to him about that. He did absolutely everything he could to be as predictable as possible, and that's all you can ask from him. So I would actually blame this other one. Let's have a look at this guy.
This guy right there.
Let's see if he lets off. No, he doesn't. No, completely. This guy's the idiot. Scott Crouch too. If you ever get around to watching this, you're an idiot. By the way, happy to call people out for being idiots, especially if we're an idiot. Like, if we've ever done something that's idiotic, and I'm sure in the up-and-coming year, 2, 3 years, however long we do this series for, that we will post stuff that is where we have been idiotic, because we also want to learn from that. So, Scott, yeah, absolutely. Scott, if you get around to seeing this, you are an idiot in this moment. You're probably not an idiot in real life, but in this moment, you're an idiot. Take it on the chin, move on, and learn from it. Next time, when you see someone spinning their head, if you just let off. It only needs to be 50%, 40%, sometimes 30%.
Assuming he had to have seen it coming. It's not like he pulled out from behind me and didn't see it coming.
Yeah, he knew. He absolutely knew that was it. That's Scott Crouch. You are sentenced to 12 months in iRacing prison. So let's move on. So that's quite a hair-raising moment. Although, you're not too far behind in the toe. You've lost the toe, but... So what are you generally struggling with here? It must be that you're struggling if you're... I don't know, you keep like catching up in certain places. So why are you catching up? Are they all... Well, that's typical. That's shit behaviour. So you...
Like this right here. Why would that guy go 3 wide into that corner and try to go off track to make the move?
I don't know. Maybe he's the leader.
I know Jack. There's a little bit of a hole, but I think Jack moved over because he saw this guy doing something stupid. Like you watch.
Yeah, it's a back marker. So this is silly behaviour. But again, he has the right. He has the right to do it. Yeah. Well, he has.
You think going off track is the right to make a move?
They're nowhere near the break.
That's bad behavior?
I think because of the position he's in, his shit etiquette. Like, it's really poor etiquette, but by the letter of the law, he has every right to do that because he's not in the braking zone right now. So he because his car is so much faster, he can get past them and in front of them and still brake and still turn. So like, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But like, the GT3s are doing everything they need to fend it off. So like, he's obviously not reading the body language very well. So the GTP is an idiot, but he has every right to do that. But it just makes him an idiot. But that looks like a little bit of a reactive move from Jack there as well.
Yeah, he moves over.
Yeah, so I'm gonna sort of go to Jack a little bit. I don't like doing that all the time to people I know, but in the moment, a reactive movement like that isn't actually legal. So that technically puts him on the grass to avoid, where maybe he didn't need to go on the grass. Well, no, he still needed to go on the grass. I'm not accepting that. He still needed. Well, I don't know. Like, he needed to go on for the whole of the duration of this. He's needed to go on the grass, but the Mustang moves to the right. But then Jackson slightly moves, but it's negligible. But like, if Jackson goes to the right slightly, which he doesn't have to, because that puts him in danger of touching the Mustang, and why would you want to do that? Like, pretty much simple for me is Raul should just back off on this, but he doesn't. So, and Benedictus here is being absolutely the smart guy here. He's the wise guy. Yeah, I know Benedictus as well. He's a good driver. He's very, very wise. He plans for the switcheroo because he thinks a potential switcheroo's on, which I would see that too, but it wasn't. Well, it is. There we go. Look.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got it. That. So you can see here three levels of intelligence. 3 completely different levels of intelligence. So you've got not very intelligent, wise, absolute don. Like
He
he's
set
watching
himself
this.
up. He saw it coming.
He knew this was happening before it was happening. Jack's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm racing, but because my car's in the prime position, I can race like this, and I'm not being too much of a dick, so I'm going to. But the guy on the outside right, he's just like, yeah, I've just been stuffed here. But and there's no control of what's going on and anything, so he's kind of forced this on himself here, this kind of Mustang, and right from this moment on, he was always going to lose 2 spots.
Yeah.
So he's not managing it very well. So the fact that he's still very tight, when the fact he's still got all of this track to use, he could have gone out wider to here and stopped that from happening. Like 1,000,000%, because his apex, he would have gone so wide out here that his turning speed would have been so good that he wouldn't have been able to maintain it. So the move wouldn't have been on. He would have been faster than him out of the corner. So he could have protected, but that's like knowing how to defend against 2 rooks and a queen with only 1 pawn. You know, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
So you need to have serious levels of experience to be able to sort of, you know.
And I think all of this going on put me back in the tow.
And it did, absolutely. But this is where your wiseness comes in. It's that, you know, even sitting at 1.2 seconds back, maybe at 0.9 back, you know, one simple change in the circumstance, one simple change, i.e. a car going offline and not maximizing anything, you're going to be back in with a fight. So that's exactly what this Benedictus guy is thinking. He's like, well, okay, I'm in the fight. That's all I need to be. As long as I'm in the fight, I'm going to be best placed at the end to monopolize on that fight. Right now, Jack's like, I need to be in front of everybody. Because yeah, I can defend from the front, but what Jack also doesn't realize with a little bit of experience is actually you're best placed behind, because you can control it. And sometimes it won't work out, but if you're good enough to be able to set up apexes and exits and actually, like, you know, manipulate cars in front of you to do certain things, then you will always make sure that your last straight will be stronger than the other guys. So Benedictus believes in himself. This is just body language that Benedictus believes in himself. That's all this shouts out right now, is this guy believes in himself. This guy believes he needs to be first, and this guy hasn't got a clue what's going on. Yeah, you know. Yeah. But yeah, it's good racing. It's good content. Really good racing.
It's clean racing. It's clean.
I just feel like this replay's going too fast. Might not put any of the replay in. It might just like, you know, a quick, like a speed super rewind, super fast forward.
Yeah.
An edited fast forward.
Now
We got stuff going on. We've got a talking point. So, where do I start this from? Where did it all begin?
Right here.
Where did it all begin? So right now, you know.
There's an LP2 and a GTP coming.
Yeah, that's pretty standard stuff, to be fair.
So here we go. I got the LMP2 is way in front of me.
So right now, as it stands, just me being me, yeah, again, no anticipation. I'm doing wrong buttons here. Come on, sort it out. So no anticipation. Straight from throttle, straight from brake, onto throttle. So with
I was anticipating the LMP2 being back on the throttle and me not catching him at all. That was my thought. I didn't think I was going to catch him.
So, based on the law of averages, in a situation like this, what you can see right now ahead of you is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 cars in front of you, and you're 300 meters from a fucking hard braking zone. 7 cars directly in front of you. So, what are the chances that all of those cars are going to go through clean without losing time or slowing down too much? What are the chances?
Not too good.
Yeah. So you know someone at this point is going to be slowed down so much on the apex that you cannot go through this corner normally.
If you look at it, you got I think it's the 2 Mustangs up there fighting. You got
Yeah.
the GTP, which I don't think makes the move until the straight, which I was planning on for.
Yeah.
You have, I think his name was it Vindictus,
Yeah.
and Mercedes. He was thinking the same thing I was thinking, I think, because he turns in and starts to accelerate and goes right into the back of the GTP. But at this point here, you have a prototype in front of me, this LMP2, that I thought was going to be back out of my way. I ended up outbraking him, and then I had to react. I probably could have backed off a little earlier, but I was expecting him to be moving already.
You just didn't need to back off at all. You just needed to fuel save. In this moment, all you needed to do was a 50% throttle left off, 100, maybe 100 meters before the actual braking zone. Go out wider here, and you'd avoid him. This is why I point out to you how important it is to know how many cars are in front of you and what are the chances in the moment for everybody to go through as clean as possible at optimum. It's very unlikely. It's just so unlikely. You've just watched Jaxa and a Mustang fight for 2 laps. So you know they're not going to just suddenly stop fighting right now to let 2 prototypes through, 3 prototypes through. It ain't going to happen. So you know Jack wants to be in front of the Mustang. You know Jack wants to be in front of... I'm going to actually use the Mustang's name. So you know Jack wants to be in front of Filippo. Yeah? And you know Benedictas, he wants to be... He's happy being behind these 2. So you know you're never going to have a problem from him. Unless he's an absolute awkward one. Which turns out to be that this guy here is awkward because he tries to get past 2 cars fighting in a heavy braking zone. So... But this is all happening so fast. This particular point of reaction is hard to react upon. However, when your car is here and you've just gone 3 wide, that's my first cue to go, oh, something's going to be a little bit skiffy here. I'm not going to let off, but in my mind, I'm anticipating. Yeah, so I'm now looking for anything now that happens right now that indicates I need to let off. I'll do it right at the back without even thinking I'll let off as it. But that's not my first time of doing that. I've gone from this point on. Once the moment I've gone 3 wide, I've gone shit. There's now 4 cars in front of me. Another 2 cars coming through. I know this GTP is going to hit the GT3s. And I know the P2 is going to hit the GT3s.
I think something happens up here. I'm trying to remember. I mean, we'll see it.
Now, I'm in red flag mode. I'm just like, okay, I'm not letting off. I'm not changing the way I'm driving. But the next time I see a red flag, I'm letting off. Yeah?
Yeah.
So I've given myself the pre-warning red flag. This is the pre-warning red flag. The information of knowing that these guys are happy to go 3 wide, which is normal. But you also know that these guys are now also going to hit the GT3s and they'll want to get past the GT3s as fast as possible. We know that. And we now know that Jack and that are not going to give up spots very easily. They're going to fight to the corner. So this is right now, for me, 3 red flags. The 4th red flag is seen at the 300 meter. At this point here, the 400 meter mark, this is now another red flag. So now I'm now letting off. Yeah? How far behind is the car behind? So far away. No pressure from behind whatsoever.
I do have the GTP right behind me as well.
Yeah, the GP, like, a benefit to this would be, is you letting off at the 500 meter bold marker will maybe allow the GTP to dive on the inside. And again, for me, that's a worst case scenario of that, by the way. You letting off at the 400 meter board marker, or 350, letting off here, yeah, letting off here, braking at the 2, or just before the 2, and then going out wider than you possibly can, just for me, just allows for enough time to react for you to not lose any time, subjectively speaking. You will lose time on your fastest lap, but you're going to lose time on your fastest lap. Your fastest lap opportunity is now gone. So now it's to focus on the race itself and the race, what's going to come in front of you. So right now, the chance of you having to stomp on the brake after optimizing your current braking is quite high. And I just want to avoid that because that's a concertina effect. And we all know concertina effects are race ending effects. Because you go into the back of him, hypothetically speaking, the GTP now is even closer to you, that goes into the back of you. Well, we kind of almost seeing it. You're lucky you guys are so far apart. But if the P2 is closer, the P2 does a nice job of holding distance back. And so does the GT3 ahead. It's just the GTP ahead of him. But all it takes is the GTP ahead of him to make a bad decision, to then the GT3 to go into the back of him, P2 goes into the back of him, then you go into the back of the P2, and then the GTP goes into the back of you. And next thing you know, you've got 5 cars with meatballs.
Yeah.
How often have you seen that?
A lot.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. So, just a let off. I can't express how important a let off is. Just a second and a half coasting is just anyway. Is there a problem here?
I think the GTP is going to send it on the LMP2.
So what else could come
got
from that?
Crash.
Yeah, like I get the simple one-word answer. Yeah, it could be a crash. But yeah, from this perspective, okay. Let's see what happens. Nothing. False alarm. This doesn't even have to be a 45-minute video. It can just be like fast forwarding through the parts, or maybe even like cut to a new scene.
Yeah. No, that's I completely thought that's what you were gonna do. I figured you'd fast forward to the talking points. I mean, if you want a longer content video, I mean, for sure.
There, well,
I think your best bet is to jump to like the big points, where stuff happens, and then we could stop and talk, and you could just chop it, like you said.
Yeah. Just getting a little bit of pressure from behind.
There we go. They're starting to go at it again.
Oh!
Right there.
Oh!
I saw that coming from a mile away. Let's go back further, and it started right. Keep going. Started
here. Yeah,
right there.
it did. Yeah. So, that's why I actually laughed.
I saw that happening.
Yeah.
And I was like, something is going to happen. These guys are going to take each other out. It's going to happen. Anyone
that goes 3 wide like that, they're basically all trying to communicate to each other that I'm going to potentially go for a move. I'm looking. I'm now calculating what I need to do to make this work. And both the 2 chasing cars are doing that. It's arrogance. It's absolute arrogance right now. There's absolutely no care for the final lap sprint. There's no care for that. There's just, I need to get in front, and I just need to have that higher number beside my name. Irrelevant of the final position, I need to right now have that higher number next to my name, because that I can defend that. No, you can't. No, you literally can't defend against someone who knows how to manipulate you. So it's I see it, and it's why I laugh, because I'm like, I see it too.
So I saw that. I will keep going from here, and
Jack got away with it as well. He just streamed off, and that could be sometimes the hindrance behind staying this far back as well. You know, you're watching it from a front, but you're now these two make a mistake, and now Jack's not. He's got rid of your toe.
Yeah, and he just off. Now here he goes. Jack's defending. The one Mustang goes wide. Another guy.
There's a lot to talk about here.
Tries to capitalize on it.
So, Jack, let's have a look at Jack's etiquette. So Jack's doing everything within his right. Everything within his right, and he's doing everything, and then he pushes slightly out to the right, absolutely bang on.
Sets himself up.
Which is very clever, because him pushing out to the right pushes this guy out to the right, which allows for this guy to now think he has a move. Very clever. Yeah. Very, very, very clever from Jack. And it's really good racecraft, that, because it's the guy now on the right is now going to lose another position, which takes a little bit of the pressure off, because that I keep saying Beamer because it's Beam colours, but this Mustang is acting desperately. And the fact that he is acting desperately shows you that he's willing to make desperate moves on the guy behind. So why would you want to keep that guy who's making desperate moves behind you when you can put him behind someone else that could fuck him up? And it's very clever from Jack, and it's worked out like a dream.
And we go.
Beautiful. Schoolboy level material. Shame on the Merc for not being able to bring it in enough.
I know. If he had rotated, he would have stuck the move. He just outbraked himself.
Yeah, but that's pure. All of this is thanks to Jack's little bit of genius, like creativity here by you know, enticing a move on. So right now, everyone other than Jack is thinking of thinking in two directions. Jack is only really looking in one direction. That's ahead of him, where everything else is the onus on the drivers behind, where the Mustang is now looking in front and behind and to the left, where the Merc is now looking looking to one car to his right and one car to his left. So they're all having to think about way more things, which is now the Merc has made has had a crash because of it. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I like that. And then you just monopolize on it. Lovely.
2 spots.
Lovely. Now let's see if you catch Jack. Place your bets now. Pause the video for 5 seconds. Place your bets now. I feel like this could be quite entertaining to watch, so I'm not going to put this in fast forward. He's watching his mirrors.
How many laps are left?
I don't know. I don't even know how many laps you're on. What does it say?
We're on lap 21. So we got 1 lap left.
How you wait?
Lap 21 at the bottom. And then if you click on that scroll down, there was 22 laps in the race.
But how do you know we're on lap 21?
Right in the middle. Next to the pause replay button.
Oh yeah, shit. How have I never seen that before? Yeah, so we're on so this is the white flag lap.
Yeah, this is it. It looks like I did gain time on him. I honestly, I don't think I got the move done, though. I think he was able to hold me off.
Yeah, I'm going to edit that out. I don't want people to know the answer yet.
I didn't realize I was in this race with him when I did this one.
Yeah, it's actually really good that you've had a race against him here as our first video. Might do really well for promotional reasons. I'm smiling because of it, that's for sure. Oh,
You got a little loose there.
yeah, because he's watching in his mirrors. He's watching you. He's making lots of mistakes. He's watching you. You've been a threat the whole race. Like, you've been the calm one. He knows you're dangerous because you've been the calm one.
Yeah.
Like, that's enough of a to put pressure on him because he knows you're calculated. I honestly think that plays better. He can manipulate someone who's easier to that's running emotionally than someone who's running in a calculated fashion. He can't manipulate that as much.
No.
Which is a great tactic, but you didn't get the move made. So GG though. Look at him go right over to the right. GG.
I think that was a P4, I believe.
Yes, it was P4. So there you have it. That's the video. How do you feel about that performance?
It was good. It was good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I wish I was able to capitalize a little more. Looking back, going all the way back to the incident with the prototype, I'd like to think of where I could have placed if I hadn't lost those 3 spots, or
Yeah,
what position I would have been in. But you can't. It's the past, so you just got to move forward.
It's that mentality that makes you make a bad decision next time. That was really bad. So, wait, do you know what I mean by that though? So if you always think to yourself, well, if I'd have done that, if I hadn't have done that, or if this had happened or this hadn't have happened, I would have been like it causes you to make bad decisions in the future, because it's like, well, actually, I'm, there is a better decision out there. So yeah, I don't think that's particularly healthy to think that way. But we do. It's natural. I think that's probably the most fundamental part of that, though. It is natural to think that way. You know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, but otherwise, I think it was a good race. Good race, cleaner race. Decent drivers around me, which was nice.
Yeah.
It's always nice when you get that.
Yeah, yeah.
If you want to, can you jump to the car that was behind me? I think he's right behind me. Keep going. That guy, right there.
Yeah, he
Ben,
wasn't far.
Holing. He was patient. He was a great driver all race. I mean, granted, I finished in front of him, but he was literally half a second to a second behind me, but knew he couldn't get the move done.
Yeah.
So he didn't jeopardize his race. Literally, the whole race, he sat right there.
Yeah, nice. And to finish with 9 incident points as well, it's actually not bad. What did you think? Do you remember what your stats were when you, like, your IR gains? And
I do not.
Excuse me, I just yawned. It's terrible. No, okay, no. If you can find it, I'll be.
Oh, let you know right now.
So let me ask you again, just for the recording reasons. So, what were your total gains over at the end of that race, then, my man?
Safety rating, I was down 0.25.
Yeah.
I started at like 4.7, so that's expected. 57 I rating gain.
Nice, the most important one. Lovely. Well, overall, that's really, really good. Yeah, so if you're interested in seeing more of these videos and sort of keen to get yourself involved in these sort of race review series that we're doing, you're more than welcome to join our Discord, come and have a chat with us and see what's available. This sort of review series is only open to ARC team drivers, so it's not open to anyone at the moment. So if you like the idea behind the series and have sort of any way of recommending or suggesting improvements, things that you'd like to see, absolutely. But from myself and Andrew, yeah, this is it's been an eye-opening opportunity for both of us to learn from. And yeah, do you feel like you've learned much from this, Andrew? Do you feel like this is a productive way of going forward and learning?
Oh, for sure. Definitely plenty of ways to benefit from this.
Yeah. All right, well,
going back and reviewing always helps.
Absolutely. All right, well, yeah, I'll do a proper little outro with myself as well, but I just wanted to get you to reply to that. So let me press stop recording.